Hi Aries, welcome to Divine Duality Tarot. I'm Destiny.
And I'm TJ.
And in today's video, we're going to be doing a general love reading for you, Aries, for the month of November of 2022.
So, nice. One thing to keep in mind when we are doing these readings, they are a general love reading for Aries for November. This may not resonate with every single Aries and every single situation out there, so keep that in mind when you're watching. Also, if you are cross-watching, meaning that you are not an Aries, most, or all of this can not mean anything to you in your current situation at all, because this is not your sign's readings. However, if you have Aries in your life that you're wanting to see what could be going on with them, stick around, watch out, and we will have links below to the other signs, and watch the one that's yours.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to be doing the spread today, and we've been really thinking about the name of it, and we have finally come up with a name for the spread that we come up with, and it is called Duality, the Duality Spread. And in this one, we do the mutual bridging point between the sign, which in this case is Aries, and their interest. And then we do you on this side, and we do your interest on the other. So we normally do the mutual point first, which is what he's doing right now. And then if something needs to be clarified, we have a second deck that we use to clarify any information that may need a little bit more insight on. And then at the end, we use this deck to give a little bit of advice or what the universe thinks you should do in your situation.
What is Aries energy in November?
And he is getting on with it.
Right on.
Right on.
My fellow Aries, what is going on with us here in November?
Well, there you go.
That's a good start. Good continuation. Okay. That feels right.
Okay. When you get some feelings, you go with it. Go with your intuition and your gut.
That's something she always says. It's going to get reiterated probably 50 times.
Yep.
But it's solid advice. Aries, what's going on with our romantic interests?
Don't look at me like that.
What's going on with our romantic interests?
Fun fact.
For November.
He is an Aries and I am a Leo. We are both fire signs, and we both like to butt heads. But sometimes you can fight fire with fire. And we tend to make it work pretty well.
Is there anything else you have to say about the partner's interest? Is there anything else with our partner's interest? Anything else going on with their energy? What is their side of this relationship? Always something more that can be said.
Always.
Do you want to do the wording for Aries, or do you want to do the devil's advocate today?
I'll do the devil's advocate today because you're the Aries and you can talk about the Aries. But I'll go with the mutual point.
All right, so once again, we have our energy as Aries, your energy, what's going on with us for November, your interest here.
And then we have our mutual bridging emotion between you guys.
Your relationship.
Yes. So, in this instance, we have the Hermit, which is to go within yourself and find insight on the things that you need, and like finding answers within yourself, and like doing some soul searching to figure out what is going on within you, which you both are doing this. You are both doing this. It's not just you and it's not just them. It's both of you, because this is your mutual point. And you guys have the Two of Cups, and that is to have partnership and union. So you guys are having that unite. You guys are united as a couple, and you are powerful, and you want, it's an equal give and take at this point. So you guys have to go within yourselves to get to that point, to have the strength in your relationship to be able to move on, which I think this is a lot of good energy right now. You're feeling good, you're feeling happy, you've done some soul searching together, and maybe you guys didn't do it apart. Maybe you guys have gone to couples therapy. Maybe you guys have, worked through your problems together, which is what you need to do, because a relationship is 50-50. You can't have more than that.
Now, while what she's saying, 50-50 unions, it has to exist, or a relationship's going to fall through the cracks. The problem I'm seeing in November, because nothing's ever 100% hunky-dory, it's just how life is. What I'm seeing is a general a general reflection of a good partnership, a good union. But what I'm not seeing here is that communication. You may not be playing off each other's strengths, because in a partnership, in a union, your energy has to combine. You have to become one unit. Your yin and your yang.
Your Bonnie to your Clyde.
Yeah, and your third example. The strength is there, but you're not using it. I'm thinking that in this situation in November, there's going to be a lot of strength, a lot of willpower, but you're not using it as a couple. There's probably some kind of issue. More than likely, cups always refer to, 9 times out of 10, they're more emotion driven, right?
Yeah.
So
cups are emotions.
So this union of emotion, I think it's being blocked by something. There's something in there that's causing some kind of anxiety, and it's forcing you guys not to see eye to eye. You're introspecting instead of seeing it together.
And you're not communicating, like you said. Your communication is lack thereof.
The opposite of strength is weakness, and you have the potential for strength, but there's weakness, and there shouldn't be, because there's strength.
But like I said, you guys, excuse me, it's been a long day. But like I said, with the Hermit, you guys are going within yourselves to figure out how to get your partnership and union to the strength piece that it needs to be in. So
it looks like this relationship is not necessarily on the edge of disaster, but
it could be. It really could be.
The smallest problems lead to the biggest. I should say the smallest situations lead to the biggest problem.
Yes.
Well, Aries, do you have anything else to say about the bridging energy? Mm-hmm. Well, Aries, let's see what's in store for you. Let's see what's in store for me. We have one major arcana here, and that is the Lover's card. Now, the Lover's card is opportunities for love, values alignment, kind of where we're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Aries, we're in our right spot at this point. The Ace of Wands is the second one that came out, and that is inspiration, creativity. It's the oomph you need to get things going. So, powerful start. The next one is the Three of Pentacles, which is success. The mentality is in the successful, pushing it forward, especially when it comes to monetary ideas. Pentacles normally represent physical, material wealth. Not always, but I would say 9 times out of 10.
What?
And the last one that we have is the King of Pentacles, which is, the Knight of Pentacles, my apologies, which is long-term abundance. What do you see here?
So I'm seeing that the Lovers, which is your opportunity for your love, which is you being creative and inspirational to be successful with your long-term abundance with your lover. So you're working on getting to that point. You are working on that, but we don't really know what your partner's doing at this point.
Aries, I'm not going to say that we're the problem this month because I don't know about them, but right now you're pushing. You're pushing for something. You're pushing for something big, and
it may not be something that's too terribly hard, but you could also be pushing them too hard to the point of...
But you want the right things.
Yeah, you are going in the right direction. Maybe just dial it back a little bit and slow down. But let's find out what's going on with your partner first.
Because it's 50-50 like she said.
So we've got the Empress. And the Empress is someone who is receiving love and having abundance and always pregnant with new ideas. So there's always a new idea coming to fruition. So she's always having something new come into play. And she's taking all of your love. Is she giving? We really don't know. But she's taking everything. She's receiving all of the love. She's processing on it, how to deal with it, what to do with it, to then project it the way that she sees fit. And then we have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is your intuition, your divine femininity. So your partner is receiving all of the love to use her intuition and to have a moment of truth, a moment of realization, like, hey, I have the person that I want to be with. And she's using that to move on to calmer waters. It's the Six of Swords, and that is moving on to the calm, moving on to feeling less anxious and finding out the truth. Again, going back to the moment of truth. They have new ideas with their intuition and finding their truth, and that's not within your relationship, that is within them. They need to figure out what is going on with them, which is why they're moving on to the calmness of themselves to then get their Knight of Cups, and that is to act slow on feelings that are new to them. So maybe this is a relatively new relationship that you're in with your partner, or maybe it's a new love interest that you're getting, like they're catching feelings for you now at this point, and they're trying to figure out what to do with it. So they're receiving everything from you. They're using their intuition and their gut feelings to move on, to help calm themselves down from the anxiety and the things that are going through their mind, to then have that to act slow on their feelings. What do you see?
Some of this, okay. On the surface, those are very, very powerful cards to have been dealt. Very, very powerful messaging in there. I don't know if it's as cut and dry as they're just moving on. I honestly think that the interest knows what's best. They know, they know it inside what the right thing to do is, but they're not acting on it. They're taking it slow because honestly, I think they know what's best, but they are hoping and just letting it ride out and just hoping that it'll get better. And that's not always a guarantee. There's no guarantee that just letting things ride out, just letting things play out. Complacency And letting complacency get in the way of success is a detriment. And right now, Aries, you have ideas, you have inspiration, you have the push, but this may be a push to your partner, and your partner, has received that. They know it, and their gut intuition is probably more in line with yours than they want to admit, but they're taking it slow. I don't think that person is seeing exactly eye to eye with you. It's not that there's a fight, it's not that there's anything like that. There's some sort of slow progress in mindset. Personally, I just don't think that they are moving in the pace that makes the most sense, because they're hoping that their slow action will bear fruit anyway. So just waiting for good things to happen.
I feel attacked, to be honest. Not because of him, but because this resonates with us as a couple.
And I'm sure this is going to resonate with Aries, because especially going into the end of the year, you got winter time and a lot of things are going to be on your mind. You have, bills are going to be going up. They're already going up. So we're going to compound that with, rising costs of living, because we're spending more time indoors, which means the heat's on.
And most companies aren't going to give you a cost of living raise.
And even if they do, she's right. A lot of times you're not going to see any benefit that's going to help that out. But, not to say too much into, this is not politics in any way, but with those realities of winter is a cold time. Things are dying. The trees are dying, animals are hiding. It is a darker time of year. It gets darker sooner, You're wanting to waylay that, I think.
Yeah.
And it's that cooped up feeling, maybe forcing potentially more aggression, maybe. I don't know for sure, because this is going to be on a person by person basis. Use that hermit, use that introspection to really think to yourself, back away from the situation for a moment and think to yourself, yes, you want what's best for you. You want what's best for us, you and your relationship. And think about, is what you're doing the right thing? Like, focus, what you're doing is the right thing, but are you going about it
the right way?
The right way.
Like, if you're...
What do you see with that?
I think it could go either way. It could be the fact that it's a new relationship. Or it could be, like you said, complacency, and you're hiding from what's really the problem. And you're not they're not wanting to move on because they're hiding and they're scared and they're anxious and they're worried that if they do move on, that it's not going to be for the better, it's actually going to be for the worse. Situations can be different. So
Definitely.
I don't know if it will be a good thing or if it's going to be a bad thing. And only your will and their will in your life can make that happen.
Would you be able to do me a solid?
What?
I want to know what, this strength is a very powerful thing, but it's not, I don't know about you, it feels a little out of place. We need to clarify it. Sometimes you got to.
That was an accident. Nope.
Use your feet. I can come around.
No.
That's true. You're good. There you go.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
not for nothing. Are you kidding me? At least I was smart enough to actually put my blanket down before I sat back down, though, because this chair is cold.
So strength has a lot to tell us.
Yes.
I'm just gonna go over what the cards we got are, and then we'll get this story under control. Normally, when we do this, you know, one or two come out for clarification.
We have 5.
So the first one we got was the 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Cups is fulfillment, the strength, fulfillment. And the 7 of Pentacles, is slowing down. It's strange, out of place, but means something here. The Knight of Pentacles, which is long-term abundance. We got that twice.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is wealth, which is material oomph, good. And then to round it out, we have the first card in the Arcana, the Magician, which is resourcefulness, power, reigniting balance. The Magician has all the tools of
the
all
cups,
the tools,
of the wands, of the swords, of the pentacles. He's got all of that power and is able to use all of that power to get what he wants.
Aries, this is a very, very powerful message for November.
Well, and I think this is telling you, like, hey, your strength that you guys are working on right now is your fulfillment, your happy ending. But you need to slow down and take a look at what is going on. Like, slow down, get what you need, like, fix the things to then have your long-term abundance, which is what you're getting with your wealth, because you have all of the power in the world to do it together. So I'm thinking that this is a good one.
Yeah, this strength for sure. From what I'm seeing here, and this is what I got. This strength is powerful in November. You need to use what you're doing. You need to use that. You don't let up on it. Use your introspection, Aries. You know, you are a hard-headed person. I can tell you that from experience. However, that's not to say that Aries doesn't have clear goals and a good working in their head of how to get there. You know what you want. You're showing that. Your partner, I think, they know that you are in it for them. They're just hesitating. They're taking too much time, and I think not understanding. I don't want to say not understanding. That's not fair. They're just not. I think they're just afraid to do something, afraid to dip their toe, and that goes with this. That you're bridging energy. There's a lot of each person's just not quite. I don't know if they're not seeing eye to eye, or if one is or one isn't.
They just need to soul search, because at the bottom of the deck there's always a story that plays along with what you just read, like what I just drawed for strength. The Hermit. Just soul search. Find what's going on in here so that you guys are able to work together and to get rid of your anxiety and worry, to have your generosity and be able to fulfill those things, to expand and grow, to set up your manifestation of having
goals,
the clarity in your relationship, so that you're not always anxious and worried and having difficulty with your fulfillment.
To finally move on.
Move on to calmer waters. Moving on to the calm.
November needs to be a month of action.
Yep.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're in a situation, Aries, if you are in a situation where you have drive, desire, passion to do something, don't let that go, because complacency is a destructive, devastating thing.
Yeah.
It leads to long-term lack of abundance.
Literally. But on to the next thing is we are going to talk to the universe from the wizard with this wizard's deck and get some insight on some advice for you to see what we can do
get through this month, hopefully unscathed.
Sometimes they like to flip around on me and then it drives me nuts because then I gotta go search for it. Do we have any more advice for Aries? Any more advice for Aries? Any more? Holy shit. You gotta scoot him down, baby.
Holy gosh darn it.
Are we old? Well.
PG, actually. Wait a minute.
Well, I'm just kidding. Oh my god! Again, with the Hermit. That is the third time the Hermit has come up.
I think the Hermit in this case is more so referring to your partner.
Yep.
I'm not saying to push them into, hey, you need to take a seat and really think about it. What
Jesus,
do you want to do.
dude. Out of 3 decks, the Hermit has come up every single time. That's not a bad thing, but still. How many cards we got out here right now? 10.
I'm gonna start this one off.
Okay.
I'm seeing something very specific here. So, Aries, this is advice. This is, kind of the finality, things that you can do, things that I can do, things that us Aries, you Aries, can do to get through November in one piece.
And take it with a grain of salt.
If it doesn't apply, if it doesn't resonate with you, then it doesn't resonate. But if this is resonating with you, then what I have is the 8 of Cups. Now the 8 of Cups is walking away, moving on, emotionally walking away, moving on. And then you have the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords is deception. 7 of Swords is a deceptive person, deceptive emotion. And then you have the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is trapped, restriction.
At least you're progressing a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Then you have the King of Swords. This is a very aggressive first part of this advice. The King of Swords is rational talk, rational communication, really getting it right, thinking, slowing down and thinking beyond necessarily. I don't want to say beyond intuition, but not letting the crap cloud your view.
Yeah.
And then the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords is self-care. So I'm going to stop my part right there. This is what I'm seeing. This is your partner. What I'm seeing is they are having problems walking away from a situation that is present. They're deceiving themselves. That it's not deceit in the relationship. I don't think anybody's cheating on the other one.
Which applies to the self-care thing.
And exactly, the 8 of Swords plays directly in with that. It's trapped. They're trapped and they're deceiving themselves.
Well, and the funny thing about this is if you look at her ropes around her, she's holding it in place. She could easily let go of the rope and be free of all of that.
Which leads into the rational communication with the King of Swords and the self-care with the Four of Swords. What this is right here, I don't believe it's a communication problem in a relationship. It's a communication problem the other person with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The Hermit has came up repeatedly. I think your partner may not seem like they are themselves potentially. They may not be in their right mind because they're deceiving themselves. They're holding themselves back. They have the intuition. They're not using it because they're blinding themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can communicate with themselves and take care of themselves,
then
that's
all that
going to
problem
better.
is fixed.
What do you see for the rest of the story?
Four of Cups is apathy. And like you're sulking pretty much.
Yep.
Like you're miserable.
Everything is meh.
Yeah.
On, whatever.
Then you have the Queen of Pentacles, and that is, generosity and dependability. And you can't be dependable on yourself if you can't take care of yourself. And again, I feel that this is all for your partner, and you need to maybe have a conversation with them and let them know, like, hey, you need to sit down and figure out what you want to do, because if you don't, things aren't gonna go well. But again, we have the Queen of Swords, and that is logical approach. You're finding the logical point in how to move on and how to go forth and how to get to that point, because the devil is an unhealthy relationship. It is
or an unhealthy situation.
Yeah, it's
addiction, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
It's an addiction, but I feel that in this perspective of it, that it's more of an addiction, and like not even really an addiction, but
not in the traditional sense like drugs or alcohol.
It's more so of feeling content and
apathetic toward
everything,
which is complacency.
Yep. And then we have the Magician, which again is manifestation in your resources and having all of the power to fix the problem. You have the power of the truth, the emotional, like your emotions, your materials, and your passion. You may be passionate about something, but maybe it's time to figure it out and move on.
The last thing that I'm seeing here completely goes along with everything that she's saying. You have the tools, you have the Magician, you have the tools to make it work. This is a two-way thing. Not only is it potentially meaning that your partner is developing an apathetic, a complacent state, this is telling you don't become that. It's a warning. Because if you become complacent too, Aries, man, I don't know what it is. I'm getting all choked up. It's not choked up. I don't think so. But if you become complacent, when you have two complacent people, you might as well just write the relationship off.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to find out what I believe that the devil can be many things, but in this case, I think an addiction to something is what is causing this. Your partner may be addicted to playing video games, and it's leaving you kind of like out on the side, and it's, you want that change. It could be they're addicted to a situation at their work. It could be an addiction to a friend that is not quite the most, I want to say lucrative, but that doesn't quite fit the description. Not good for the relationship. There is
unhealthy.
Something.
The devil is literally an unhealthy relationship.
And that doesn't necessarily mean your relationship.
No,
this
but
means that there is something unhealthy here.
like he said, work can be one of those things. Me being a prime example of having an unhealthy relationship with work. I can't shut it off when I walk through my doors at home. Granted, working with children doesn't help. But I feel that this has resonated with both of us, to be honest.
Aries, what this means is be aggressive, do what you have to do, but
communicate with your partner.
be
make
temperate.
sure that you are able to communicate with them, and things will eventually subside and it will work out for the better.
Be that driving force, though, because
Yeah.
if you become complacent, if you develop apathy, November is just going to be
A shit show.
done.
Hot mess.
A hot mess.
But I'm
You got the tools.
happy that we are able to give you some insight on what should happen or how you should go about doing things. But Aries, I'm happy that you are here.
Yeah, thanks for visiting. And be sure to like, subscribe so you can see the next videos that come out. And also, if this resonated with you, and even if it didn't, leave a comment below. Let us know what's going on. And
if it did resonate with you, make sure you share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you feel like sharing.
help whoever you can.
Yeah.
And I guess with that, last thing I have is see you in December, Aries.
I'll see you in December, Aries.
Take care.